we'll quickly take a detour into how much this narrow waist of the platform changes things for you. Okay, so we know already that the Duke 390 has a ground clearance of 183 millimeters. Okay, which makes it 17 millimeters less than the old Adventure, which is not a joke, right? This on the X model is 232. On the model we're discussing today, the Adventure, it is 227. On the R model, it will jump to 272 millimeters, which is the highest in this family of motorcycles.
So I'm guessing when you go to 272 mm, that's when the seat height goes to 8.
Correct. Now the seat height range, there are effectively 3 or 4 seat heights in play. The lowest is obviously the Duke at 820. In India, we get the lower version of that seat, which is 800, right? Now the X model seat height is 825. Which is also the low seat height for the Himalayan on the adjustable seat. The high Himalayan is 845, low Himalayan 825. There's a lot of 825 mm bikes. Remember, this is a particularly narrow motorcycle by design. We'll talk about it, which also means it'll actually feel lower than 825 also. He's 5'6". I'm willing to bet when he sits down on the motorcycle, he will have both his feet down more or less flat. Then at 830 mm is the model we're discussing today, which is the Adventure. The R model rises to 870. 870, which is still just 15 millimeters more than the old Adventure, mind you.
Wow.
But ground clearance is now 272. 70. So 15 millimeter increment in seat height gives you 72 millimeters of increase in ground clearance. That's how small this motorcycle's middle is. Right? The tallest motorcycle in this group, no surprises, is the Enduro R, 890 millimeters. Now you're approaching what the X-Pulse with the rally kit would feel like. Right? And when you take this Enduro R and put the 17-inch wheels from the Duke, the seat height falls down to 860 millimeters.
So what was the last one? When you
take the Enduro R, the 890 mm saddle, and you switch out the 21, 17, 21, 18, whatever the combination is, and go back down to 17-inch wheels, the Duke alloys, as it were, you get a seat height of 860.
And that's the
SMCR, the supermotor.
The supermotor. Okay.
That's the spread.
Wow. That's quite a family now.
Yes. And in here are basically 3 kinds of suspension. Again, whole family we are covering. There's the Duke suspension, which is, I'm going to call it mildly adjustable because the adjustability spread has changed. Mildly adjustable in the sense you have compression and rebound in the front. You've got rebound and preload at the back, but they both have about 150 millimeters of travel. When you jump to the Adventures, you get to 200 millimeters of travel. When you get to the Adventure R, that jumps to 230 millimeters of travel. And at 230R, you're getting higher specification shocks also. They're more sophisticated units. Then you get 230s in all of the off-roaders. So the Adventure R, the Enduro R and the SMCR all have these 230 mm shocks in them. When the prices come for these models for India, the big expense that you'll pay for is the upgrade in the suspension.
I'm not asking you too many questions about those. I mean,
no, I'm just giving you a spread now.
Because I'm guessing you've not even seen it in the flesh.
No. I've just gone to the website, looked at the numbers together.
But
so you understand
at this event, you only had the S or the standard.
Only the standard.
You didn't have anything else to even look at.
No. And just so you know, fuel tanks also, there are 3 fuel tanks in play, and we will come back to this also. I'm just giving you the spread. The largest fuel tank in this group is in the Duke. Roughly the same size, but slightly smaller is on the Adventures. It's not a problem. I'll come back to this. It's not a problem. But the serious off-roader and the SMCR, which have same bodywork, they have just a 9-liter tank.
Wow.
Why? Because they are genuinely recreational off-roaders. And this is the first point I can't stress enough. If you are a recreational off-roader and you've been desperately waiting for something to play with off-road, it has no other job but to give you pleasure off-road, don't jump yet. Please wait for the Adventure R and the Enduro R to show up. They are more serious dirt bikes than this bike is. Which is not to say this bike is incapable.
I was just going to say.
Which is not to say this bike is incapable, but this is still a travel motorcycle. The biggest clue you can get is when you go to KTM's website, India website, and you look at the segments of motorcycles, you'll find these Adventures under the travel section. You'll find the Enduro under the dual sport. Okay, so it's a big family of 390s. I believe they're all coming to India is what I understand of it is going to happen. If you are a recreational off-roader, Do not get tempted by this motorcycle, which again, I'm not saying it's incapable. I'm just saying the right product for you having fun off-road for its own sake, that bike is still to make an appearance.
Okay.
So if you think about, you split the world into two parts. I saw this yesterday on a YouTube channel, which is called, I'll put a credit to Ian, and Ian said there are dirt bikes that you use to explore,
Yeah.
and there are dirt bikes that you use to play. The play dirt bikes are in the future. The explore dirt bike has arrived.
Okay.
So we've talked about the engine platform. Is this the Duke engine? Absolutely it is. Zero changes made to this engine.
Zero changes.
Zero changes. So the hardware is all exactly the same. They've only added 3 teeth to the rear sprocket.
Oh, really?
Used to be 1443.
Oh, good.
Now it is a 1446. I am not even going to bother telling you the difference in gearing from the old Adventure to this, because honestly that bike is just now, it's completely irrelevant now. There's no crossover point at all. And again, I'm not demeaning the bike anymore. I'm done with that. I'm just saying there's no crossover point. Okay. But there are fresh ignition maps. And these maps are designed to help you travel and explore off-road. These are not frantic, exciting maps.
Before you go any further, I'm gonna list out all my pain points of the previous bike, which I remember clearly. It's been ages since I rode it, but I remember the first ride very, very clearly. And I'd like to know if those are fixed whenever as you tackle them. Since you started with ignition maps, that bike had an issue of poor grunt at low revs. So typically when you were off-road, when you wanted to climb, when you were on bad surfaces, you would not have enough grunt and the engine would cut out on you. The other thing was every time you switched off the engine, it would switch traction control.
Solved.
Okay, traction control.
Solved.
Okay, that's done. The suspension was hard
Solved.
and it would. Okay, and on the travel front, that suspension would never give you that sense of plushness.
Solved.
Okay. And yeah, that I didn't really enjoy it off-road all that much. It was
Solved.
okay then.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have ridden this bike. It is really, really a good bike.
Hello. If you enjoyed this clip, which means you're into good conversations, and that's what we're all about. It's really hard packing in the essence of an idea into a 60-second clip. This 3-minute, 5-minute video would have given you a sense of that, and you can enjoy this entire conversation in its full glory on the MotorInc channel. So why don't you head out over there and subscribe to that, and you could subscribe to this channel as well if you enjoyed it.